Hello everyone, I'm Pedro, I'm a Senior Product Content Specialist here at GetResponse, and I'll be your guide. In this video, I will teach you the basics of email marketing. You will learn how to import a list of contacts, how to create a newsletter, set up A/B tests, and I will even share with you how you can set up an automated welcome message. Make sure to not miss this one. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do over here is to actually import a list of contacts. And to do that, it is very simple. We simply go to contacts and we will go to create lists. I will call this list Guitar Masters, as it is the name of my course. So let's just create. Keep in mind that this name will be shown when people subscribe or unsubscribe, but we can give a title to this list and I will show you later on. So for now, let's just click to create. And we want to add contacts. So we go to the three vertical dots over here and we click add contacts. We can add one by one over here, but for the sake of this video, what I want to show you is how you can import a list of contacts. And for that, we will just go to upload a file and you will have a few options over here. If you simply upload a file, you can check the formats that we support over here. And then you can connect a service, you can paste from a file exactly in this format, or you can migrate your list. And this is what we will do. So I exported a list from MailChimp, so one of our competitors, and I will select the file over here. As you can see, check mark. And then let me just quickly go over here. If you have a completely new list, the first option, the second one will work as contacts will be new. There are no contacts in the list. But if you are adding contacts to an existing list that already has people and you are not sure if you have everybody there or if you want to just update a few fields, then you would choose the first option. If everyone is new, you would just go with only add new. So for new lists, that's my recommendation. And if you only want to update some fields, you would simply select this one. But keep in mind that if it's a new list, there is nothing to update. So this will give you an error. So always you can go safe with the first option. And we have permission to add this list. So we will go next. And here is how the address, how we divide it. So it's different in both platforms. Okay, got it. And now you can map the fields. As you can see here, we assign the fields to everything that we exported from the other platform. But one important one over here that I want to show is the tags here that we call custom fields. And I want to add it as origin. So what I will do is to assign a field. And I have one called origin over here. There you go. And if you don't have any field here, if you are completely new to GetResponse, you simply click to create custom field. So we assign this field here, origin, and what we will do now is to skip the other ones. So we don't really want to import the other ones, but if you want to do that, you can simply click here and assign one of the fields. So let's skip and click import. All right, so the contacts were imported. Let's now check on them right here. So I go to lists and Guitar Masters. And what we will do is to check them. All right, so over here we have, let me see the field origin. All right, so we have origin and we have member and leads. So we already know we have that, and this is how then later on we will use to differentiate from the other contacts too. But now what we want to do is to check the list settings. So now we have a list, we have contacts, and let's see the list settings. So we go to the three vertical dots, we go to settings, and what we will do here is to give a title. You can give the same name if you want, and you can give a description. So in this list, I teach people how to play guitar. Very simple, just to showcase what we do over here. You can always select a category. Then the language, so this is very important over here, this language, as it will be the language of the footer in your newsletters. So you want to keep this the language that you contact your contacts in. So if everybody, if you are contacting everyone in English, you will want to have English over here. If you are using Portuguese, Spanish, you will want to select the respective language over here. So if your list has people that you communicate in Spanish and people that you communicate in Portuguese, you will want to create then 2 lists and move these contacts over the other lists by language. Here you have the address, so this address will also appear in the footer, so you want to make sure that you have everything correct over here, and you can use different formats or a custom one. All right, and of course, if you don't want to show if it's permitted in your country, you can just hide. You can upload the logo, and then you can of course select a place where the logo will take you. And now you simply would click to save, and we will go over the subscription. So this is something just for you to know later on. So send subscription notification. So if someone subscribes, do you want to receive a notification? So let's say that we do. Select over here. And so whenever someone subscribes to Guitar Masters, I will be notified on my email that they did. Then you can choose if you want to have double opt-in. And this simply means that if I sign up to the list, I will receive an email asking for me to confirm that I really want to subscribe to that list. And this is also to avoid bot subscriptions. So if you are being attacked or something, definitely recommend this one, and it will ensure that your list has a high quality as well, as people will already be confirming, so they check their email regularly. So if you want to do that, there are 2, so API subscriptions or web subscriptions. These here apply to landing pages, and here if you have integrations. And then these are the most important. Confirmation page, so if someone clicks to confirm their email, you can take them to GetResponse page or have your own customer URL. Then you have unsubscribe page, but these here are not customizable. So you can then check them later and then save the settings. Lastly, you can go to confirmation message, can choose HTML or plain text, and here is where you will choose a subject line, the from email address, so the from email address in that list. So if someone is receiving the confirmation message, from which email address will they receive? So this will be the one, and if they want to reply, where will the reply land? So it will land on this email address as well, but you can choose others. And then how does this confirmation message look like? You can choose all the templates over here. There are many of them. It's not just totally customizable. We allow you some space here to make some changes, and this is due to some regulations, and so you can change whatever space you have here, and also at the bottom how you sign. And then once you're ready, you simply save and confirm the message. And now let's go back to the contacts. Okay, so now you have a list of contacts and you have people to whom you can send a newsletter. So to create a newsletter, we simply go to email marketing here at the top, and we will click to create newsletter. You will then be taken to this page over here, and we will give the newsletter a name. This name is only for you, but it's important so that you can actually remember which newsletter we are talking about when we go to the statistics or reports. So we will call it 5 things to help you improve your guitar skills, and then you have the linked list. This is extremely important. As you know, we configured the footer, we configured the language and everything related to the list settings. So we need to select our list Guitar Masters over here. Then you have the from email address. So this is the email address used to send the message, and the reply to is the one that will receive any reply if people actually reply to your newsletter. You then have the subject line. So in this case, I will actually just write 5 things to help you improve. Your guitar skills, and I'll add an emoji. And if you go over here to the right, we can actually add an emoji, and so I will add it at the beginning, and what I will do is to add a lamp right here. So you can do that just as I'm using Mac, I just use Control Command and space, but if you are on a computer, a PC, you would just go to the emoji over here and you would select the one that you want. Now we have the recipients, but before we jump into them, let me just mention that you also have the preview text over here. And this works as an extension of the subject line, so you would explain further what goes in the newsletter. So one of the secrets, perhaps, so one of the things that could help improve the guitar skills, right? So that's something that you could write over here. And then let's go to the recipient. So here we will select our list guitar masters. So I will not show you anything else about segments for now, but you can also select manually. So if you have a specific person or a few ones that you want to contact individually, you would click here and select them. In our case, we will simply select the list, and now we go to design and content. And this is where you will select one of the templates. As you can see, you have pre-designed, you have your template. So once you create one, blank template, so from the beginning, HTML editor in case you have some coding skills or you have someone helping you out with code, or any existing message that you've sent in the past. And for this example, we have many templates over here, and we will choose one of them. As you can see, as I'm teaching guitar lessons over here, I will probably pick one of these two. So for pro tips or webinar invitation. So we totally recommend that you use one of our templates, as they are designed by professionals. So they have conversion in mind, and also they have amazing design, and we keep expanding every month. So what we will do is to actually select this one over here for the pro tips. We can simply preview or just use the template. So for this example, we will just use the template. All right, so the first thing that I want to show you over here is that this is a drag and drop editor. You won't have to code anything. And just to showcase, I can simply drag and drop an image, and then you would click add an image. Let's go to the GIFs or GIFs. This is just to exemplify so that you can see how easy this is. And well, there you go. You have the GIF or GIF over here, and then you can simply delete, of course. And then just to showcase as well, you can go back and forward in time with these two arrows, and you can also save the message. We save automatically, but it's never too much, right? You don't ever want to lose your work. And well, so you already know this is a drag and drop, and in your case, if you are perhaps teaching something as guitar lessons, maybe you have a video on YouTube that you want to share, so this template will be perfect for you, as you would simply add your URL over here. So you would just change that. In my case, I actually don't have a video for guitar lessons, but I will use an image. So I will place it right here. I'll go to browse, and I will write guitar transparent. So this is a trick actually that you can use to find images with transparent background, and it can be really useful. So just write exactly that, and you will find something that will suit your scenario, right? And do not go too deep into that. What I will mention here, so something generic, which is once you click a block, and so I will call image a block, text a block, a button a block as well. And once you click any of them, you can make the changes on the right. For example, on this image, one trick that you can do is to actually add a URL. You should add web address, and for example, this will take you to GetResponse.com. Of course, you would put your website over here, click insert, and here as well on the button. We will do the same, because people tend to click on images, so that's already one insight from me that you can get. And also let's change the name over here to start lessons. Or you can just do perhaps learn guitar. There are many things that you can do over here. And as I mentioned, very easy to actually edit anything. So once you drag and drop, you can simply then add anything. So as you see here, I'm on the text. And the thing about the text is that it's a bit different to edit the block. You can add padding. And if you don't know what padding is, it simply adds some margins. As you can see, as they grow, as they are added together to the four sides in this case. And you also, let me just go back so that we go to the initial format. If you go to the image as well, you can change as well the size. You can unlock here, so you change individually the width and the height. All right, you can also hide on mobile just for certain scenarios, of course. And here, if you click on the button, you can change the colors and the format of the button. You can see right here, also the letters. It's very simple. Once you know how to drag and drop to the right places and you have something built, you can actually just click on something and go to the right to edit the settings of everything. Also have advanced settings over here that you can use to edit. So once again, the padding here, and you can see that it adds some margins right here. About the text, so as I was mentioning a second ago, if you select the text, you will see that the settings are actually here on the right. So you can add bold, italic, underline, cross text over here, and you can justify to the left, middle, right, or simply click to justify text, right? So there are many things that you can do. And another thing that I want you to know is that you can add personalization. So you can go here, and perhaps you want to address someone by first name. So in this scenario, just to showcase to you, we would add text over here, and it would be like hi, and we would add the first name. So in this case, it would be hi Pedro. And then you would write about your guitar lessons. Let's keep the same format, and we will make it a bit larger. It's the first thing that people see right here. And this one we would delete. So it would look more like this. You can also decrease this. Over here, this is a spacer, so if you don't know, I will actually use so that you can see. It's this thing over here, and we can add over here, just to have some space, right? All right, so this will be to your liking, of course. All right, so for this scenario, you would want 5 tips here, so you would simply click here to duplicate, and you keep adding them with a section in between. And as I mentioned, the sections are added right here. And as you know, so this is drag and drop. As you can see, the address is here at the bottom as well. And then you can hyperlink just by selecting the text here, and you can click on this icon to insert a link. And once you are done, you simply click next. But before you do, what we want to do here is you can send a test message to yourself. You can preview. So this is extremely important that you do over here, and compare on mobile as well, how it would look. So this is how it would look over here. And then you can also see spam check. So this is something to consider always. If it says good to go, you should be good to go. Then you can also save as a template or save the draft and exit. In our case, we actually want to send a message, so we would go to next, and we would select click tracking. So this is something that you want to keep, as it is extremely important later on. And also, if you have Google Analytics integrated, you will want to do this one over here. You can also share on Facebook and Twitter. So if you want to send a newsletter, it would be shared automatically on the platforms. And then you can send immediately or schedule for later. So let me go over the schedule first. You can select the date and time zone. And then two things that are very interesting over here. Perfect timing. So here, if you select a date and time zone, this is when the newsletter will start to be sent. And with perfect timing, it takes about 24 hours to send the message. And we will take all the data that we have in our database to send the message at the most likely time that your customer will open the message. And well, so this is recommended to use, especially if you send immediately. And if you are scheduling, usually the best to do is to use time travel. And this simply ensures that if you have people in different parts of the world, that they will receive at the same time. For example, it would be 8 a.m. here in Brazil, and it will be 8 a.m. in Portugal. So everybody will receive at the same time, which will be very useful if you have such a diverse audience. In our case, we will simply send immediately, and usually we would recommend to send with perfect timing, as I explained what it does. So it ensures that the message lands at the most optimal time. But for this example, and as we will see this in a second, we will simply send right now so that you can see as well. So let's just click to send. right? You will then be taken to this screen over here, and there are 60 seconds for you to act if you want to cancel. So let me actually explain to you what you can do. So you can actually go to your newsletters here on email marketing. And as you can see, it appears right here. So it appears as scheduled, but it's due to the countdown timer. And you could simply click to stop sending. And once you do, if you actually click here, it will then appear on drafts right here. All right, so now you know how to create a newsletter. What if you want to test these newsletters? You want to do an A/B test. So this is something very common. And to do that, we will go to A/B testing right here. It is actually really simple to set up an A/B test in GetResponse, and you simply have to go to create A/B test. Then you will be presented with two options. So do we want to test the subject line, or do we want to test the content? So you will have to pick one of those. I will actually select subject line and click create test. I'll give the same name here, select the list that we want, which is Guitar Masters. And of course, I cannot keep the emoji over here. All right, so let's now see the subject lines. So one will be this one over here, and the other one, actually, I will show you in a second. So we can add more tests here. You can have 5 in total, so you can keep adding. For this example, I will have 3 tests. I will have one with the emoji like we had at the beginning, one with the emoji at the end, and one without emoji. So that's just a test that you can do. But what I want to achieve with this is to actually provide incentive to you so that you can actually test your newsletter. So this is something very important, that you learn for yourself what your audience likes, what they are attracted to, and then you adapt that to your newsletters. So this is very important. This sounds like a silly test, but then you will see that some will perform better than others. And if you actually do this test a few times, you will be able to gather some significant data that you'll have for yourself, and nobody else will have actually access to this, right? All right, so for recipients, we will, of course, select our list Guitar Masters, as this is just only for example, but something to mention here for A/B testing purposes, you will want to have a list of 100 or more people so that you can actually gather some significant data. So this is actually very important to consider. Something else here. All right, so design we already have. So for now, we can go to existing messages, and our message will actually appear over here. And as you can see more as I have a few drafts as well. All right, now we just landed in the editor. And something else that I didn't mention before, but to keep adding value to this video, is that you can save a block. So you can save as a favorite over here. Let's say we want to save this whole section. So we would just click save over here. And let's say numbered section. So this is something that you can later on use on other templates. And as you can see here, I have something for a language course too that I have, and I could just drag and drop that here. So something for you to consider. This can be extremely useful and can save you tons of time, right? All right, so with that out of the way, what we do now is to click next, and we will now see the A/B test settings. And here, the first thing that stands out is this slider, and you can control it. It can go to the left and can go to the right. And what this means is, now I will divide them so that you can see you have blue, green, and red. And these are our 3 variants. And in our case, as our list is super small, this means that only 3 people will receive the variants. This means 1 for each. And the rest will receive the winner. So the 5 people that are left will receive the one that has the best performance over here. So that's why it's actually recommended that you have at least 100 people so that you have more meaningful data, so that you have a rightful winner as well. And then what you can do is to send the tests, the winning message automatically or not. So it's your choice if you want to send it automatically or not, or if you want to just observe to send then later on. So this can be done. And how do you determine the winner? It can be by open rate or click rate. In our case, as we are testing the subject line, we want to test the open rate. And let's choose here about 3 days. And so once you are done, you would simply click to save. The rest we went over already, and let's click to start the A/B test. Alright, so now you will see this page, and what we will do is to see all our A/B tests. Alright, so you can see testing over here, and as we selected 3 days, this will be the number of days it will take for the test to finish. Alright, and once you click, so if you go over here, you will see that delivered 1, 1, and 1, and over here, this means of the winning message. So as it was not sent yet, there is no data. But on the other one, you can already see that the B variant here is performing better. As this was a very small test, this is only for you to see how you can do it yourself and have some meaningful data. Alright, so now we have sent a newsletter, we have an A/B test running, but we want to see the reports of this newsletter. In order to do that, there are actually 2 ways that you can use to reach the statistics. But before we do that, we go to the dashboard here, and we will add a widget. And this widget will tell us about the last newsletter that was sent on a specific list. And here we will select Guitar Masters, and you will see that our newsletter is right here. And this is what we want. So we log in, and we see instantly how it performs. So how many people opened, both in percentage and number itself, and how many clicked, unsubscribed, and to how many people was the newsletter sent. So this is extremely helpful, and it will save you a lot of time once you are going through your newsletters. And now, how do you get to the reports? So it's quite obvious here. You can just click on reports here at the top, but you will be taken to the generic, and you will have to select your newsletter. In our case, to be faster, we will go to email marketing here, and we'll click on our newsletter. So you get taken to it straight away. And as you can see, you have here delivery rate, open rate, click rate. So you need to keep an eye on these, and specifically the click rate, as it is what you want to do most of the times. You want people to click on your links so that they either purchase from you, they contact you, whatever the newsletter goal actually is. If you are only looking forward to informing people, so if there are no links, you'll be looking at the open rate. Now, something to mention here is that you can download this report just by clicking here. You can see the recipients, so who actually opened and clicked on your newsletter. So you can even order here. You can see that these 2 clicked. And something else that is extremely helpful is for you to go to opens and clicks and to resend the message to people that didn't open. So you can do that after a week or so to see if they will actually open your message now. So this is a good way for you to actually set this up. So you will simply click there and then create a new message. You will select the existing message that you've sent, and then this message will be sent to this segment. So once you click here, a segment is created only for this purpose. So for the people that didn't open this message. And then something else that you want to see is where did people click? So on which URL and who actually did that. So this is extremely helpful for you. And lastly, you will definitely see where in the newsletter they clicked. So you can have the same URL in multiple places, but here you can see that they clicked on Learn Guitar. And this will help you actually determine where people are clicking in your newsletter so that you can adapt on newsletters that you will send in the future. And now something that I want you to keep an eye are on the other ones over here, which are related to bounces, unsubscribed, and complaints. So you should keep an eye on these 3. So in terms of bounces, so this means that emails that didn't reach the inbox for multiple reasons, and you have many of them over here. So keep an eye on them. And then unsubscribed, you don't want to see the unsubscribe rate over 1%. Of course, depends on your list, on the size of your list as well. Then complaint, you also don't want to get complaints, but let's keep this like very low. And then email domains, you can see the top domains that you are sending emails to. So quite important here actually to see that. And now that we have this out of the way, what we will do now is to go back to the dashboard and I will teach you how to actually create a segment. All right, and from here what we will do is we will go to contacts and we will click custom fields. So we will create then a segment later on based on these custom fields. And I will do that right now so that later on we can check together. And what the custom field is something that will identify the customers. So when they sign up, we will have them select these fields and then we will be able to segment them based on their choice. So what we will do is to segment people based on their level. So I will call this custom field level. I will have it to be as a text and I want single answer. And I will have beginner over here, then intermediate and advanced. All right, so we have all of them over here and we want to show. So if this was something that you don't want to show in the form, you would actually have this selected, but we don't want that. And we just want to create this for beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So let's now save. All right, and now to create the segment, what we will do is to go to search and we will go to advanced search here, add a condition, and then it will be contact details, custom fields, and then we called it level, and then is, and let's say beginner. This is just a test. So apply, no one, we don't have anybody here. But what's amazing about segments is that they are dynamic. So once someone meets this criteria, they will be added here automatically. So let's save this as a segment and let's save beginners. Right, it's now saved. And what we will do now is to create a landing page. So let's go now to tools, landing pages, and we will go to create landing page over here. Okay, so what we want now is people to sign up to our newsletter so that we can contact them via email and provide our tips and tricks to start learning guitar. And well, we want them to then, of course, book a session with us. So the first goal here of this landing page will be for people to sign up to our newsletter. So you could just select the option over here, but I already know the template that I want to use, and it will be this one over here. I'll call it Guitar Masters, and you can have an overview then on the landing page itself, and you can check the thank you page. So the thank you page will be what people will see after they sign up. It can always be changed, of course. So let's now go to the next step. All right, so the first thing that you need to know here is that this editor is a drag and drop. And one thing that we will start by doing here, just to showcase to you, is by scrolling a little, adding a button, so dragging and dropping. And then once you double click, you will be able to edit this button. So this is just to showcase so that you understand how this editor actually works, and then you can simply delete. So the first thing to do now is to adapt this template to our liking, and so that it kind of matches what we are trying to advertise here. So first we will change this image over here, and to do so you will double click, and then you click on the icon over here. And what we will do is to write guitar. All right, and as you can see, there are many images to choose from. I will go with this one over here. And then what I need to do is to adapt. So I need to actually move this a little so that it can be adapted. All right, so now we have an image here on our form, and as you can see, this came a bit out, so we need to do just a tiny adjustment over here. Exactly. All right, so now we should actually change the color of the text as well and try to match it, so it will be some sort of pink over here, something not exactly the same, but this will do, just for you to know how to change. So this is how it will look like. And on the button as well, we will do the same. So I just copy pasted the value. And what we can do so that it looks a little better is to change the color of the text to white. And this should say sign up. So something like this. And then something that will be very important over here is to actually add our fields. And what we want to do so that you see it again. So I clicked on the form. So right here, and then web form fields. And here we will choose the level and we will make it required. So this is very important, as when people sign up from this website, they will have this field. All right, so now this is fixed. And another thing that you can do is to delete this image and to add a video. So if you have a video on YouTube, you can add it right here. That's how you would do. And as you saw, once you double click on any block here, can be the button, can be text, you will then be able to change it, even the size over here, or the font itself. That you know how to do. And if you want to hyperlink perhaps something, let's say here, perhaps you want to hyperlink, include a video, you want to go here to this icon, and we can just go to GetResponse.com. And then you can choose how it opens, right? It can be in a new window or in the same window. So usually you could open on a new window so that people don't leave your website. This is how it would look like. And to actually showcase this a little bit more, you can simply underline so that it looks a little bit better. All right, so that now that you know how the editor works and that you know it's a drag and drop, so it's very easy to use. You know that this template can be easily adapted to the scenario you want. And the first thing that we need to consider here is that we ask for the email address at the top. So this is our main goal. And that's why we have it at the top as well, so that people, once they read our headline, they will be then urged to actually sign up to our newsletter. And if you actually have something to offer, perhaps you have a PDF, or perhaps you want them to contact you for one lesson, you can offer something here. And once people actually sign up, you can go to the thank you page. You can add a button over here, and you can have something to download. And this is very easy. You would simply then hyperlink here to the file that you have. And this is actually very simple to do. And I will demonstrate quickly in a second how you will get an URL. So now you know how to add a URL. And after I publish this website, I will actually show you how you add the URL, how you generate a URL if you don't have one. All right, so now we have everything here, but we want to check the mobile version. So let's click on mobile and let's go. So everything is optimized, as this template was made by our designers. So everything is optimized for mobile. But if you are having any issue with it, what you usually would do first is to save. And then if you click on the background, so first you click and then you do Control-O or Command-O. And this window will show up. And what this does is this will optimize the page for mobile. Although in some cases it might disrupt depending on how you organize your page. So be very careful with that. But in most scenarios, this will do magic to your page and really optimize it for the mobile version. As you don't need in this one, we'll just skip the changes and you can always preview. But right now what we will do is to go to the next step. All right, so now we are taken to the landing page settings, and you will see that you have a page title. So this name will appear at the title of your page, of course, here at the top, and also in Google. And the description, so in this landing page, we teach guitar lessons. So this, you need to do some research here, as this will contribute to SEO, so how people find your page in Google, for example. So make sure that you do some research on keywords over here and you provide a proper description. You have some guidelines here in terms of how many characters you can have. And then you want to leave this blank, as well. Usually people want to get their pages found in the search engine as Google, for example. And then here we provide you a free subdomain. We have 3 to choose from: great.com, subscribemenow.com, or getresponsepages.com. Let's say, so this would be for guitarmasters.great.com. If you have already a custom domain, you can simply click to add or select it from here if you already added. If you need help with that, we have FAQs to help you out. And here, the most important part, you need to choose the proper list, Guitar Masters, and this confirmed opt-in. We already talked about it. If you want a confirmation message to be sent before people are added, you keep this enabled, or if you don't, you just disable it. Something to consider is if you have this enabled, but on the list settings you have it disabled, the settings from the landing page will actually be the main ones over here, so it will apply. A message will actually be sent if you have this enabled here and not in the list. So keep both disabled if you want, and here you would add to the autoresponder cycle. So we don't want to do this right now because we don't have an autoresponder, but in a second we will, because I will show you after that how you create an autoresponder, and then here you configure where you take people after they sign up. So I showed you the default thank you page, so let's keep that. And then you have analytics and remarketing. You can choose any platform here. If you choose Facebook Pixel, for example, and you click on this FAQ, you will then see a video on how you actually can install Facebook Pixel. It's very simple. But for now, we will not be adding anything here, and you can see Google Ads conversion tracking. You can also learn more about that here, or you can add a chat window. So I will actually want to do that. And then you just publish the page. All right, so what we will do now is a test sign up. So I will go to my landing page and I will sign up. So I will write my name over here. So this will be my email at gmail.com, and I will be intermediate. So let's now sign up, and you'll see that I'm taken to the thank you page, and this is the download button as well that I will teach you in a second how to generate the URL. All right, so we have this. So what I want you to see now is that we will go to contacts, we will click on Guitar Masters, and we will go to the last one that was added, which is +12. And you will see that you have intermediate over here, and this is what we want. So we already have a segment for beginners, and you can do the same for the other levels. And I have someone here on the beginners, and if I go now to contacts and segments, if I select beginners, you will see that automatically I was added there. So this is what we want. As people select a different option there, beginner, intermediate, or advanced, of course, you will have to create 3 segments. They are added automatically. And now, quickly, just to mention to you how you will add something to your landing page. So if you have something to offer, if you have some PDF that you want to share and people to download after they sign up, you would go to Files and Images, and you would upload it right here on My Files. You would upload it here. As you can see, I have a lot of things over here, but just to keep it simple, you would go to Add Files, and you would select a file from here, from your computer, or import from a URL. I will not do it right now, but once you do, you will see your file over here, and then you can copy the URL. And this is the URL that you will use on the button. We already saw how you actually add the URL, so you only need to generate one. Just copy here and then go to the landing page and edit. It is very simple. And now let's see one more thing, which is very powerful that you can do, which is to create an autoresponder. So let's go to Tools and go to Autoresponders. What we want now is to set up an autoresponder. And just in simple terms, for you to know what an autoresponder is, it's pretty much an automated message that will be sent based on a sign up. So we will go to create autoresponder over here. And here we have to give a name, which will be in this case just a welcome. And then we will select the proper list, as you already know how important it is. Then you have autoresponder settings, and this is the most important part over here that you need to pay attention. So on day 0, same time I sign up, means that if I sign up right now, I will get the message exactly right now. If I go to day 1, this means at the same time that I sign up today, I will receive the message 1 day after, so tomorrow, and so on, as you keep going with the numbers. And well, you can be on day 0 and still send with a delay or exactly at a specific time. So for our purpose, we will have it on day 0 and at the same time as sign up. And then you can restrict message to be sent on a few days. We will be keeping them on every day, so depending on when people actually sign up, as they will be expecting a welcome when they sign up. And well, over here you can still write welcome, and then you can have the first name. You can go over here. So in this case, I would receive the message as welcome Pedro. So right here. And then we would go to design and content, right? So we already went over that. So you already know pretty much what this is about, but you know that we have a lot of templates prepared for you, and many of them are actually dedicated to welcome people. And this is something that many people expect, and it's one of the most opened messages in the world. So people that sign up, they will expect a welcome message. So you should definitely set this up. And let's perhaps choose this one over here. You already know that you can customize it and how you work in the editor, so I will not go too much over here, but we can now go next. And there is nothing else to it, right? So what will happen is now you save and publish, and you will see it over here. Something for you to then consider is that you will go to lists here, and you will select only guitar masters so that you know what's happening in this list, so how many messages are being sent. And then you will actually want to look at the grid, and here you can build a whole course for you. So you will see then that your messages can be built into a course for perhaps with tips for people to know what they are doing and how to do certain things with the guitar. So you can have on day number 2, which means 2 days after subscription, and so on. You can keep adding these messages and they can keep getting populated here. And with this view, you'll be able to organize everything so that it is simple and you have an overview, a bird's eye view on the whole process and the whole messages that people are receiving. And if you hover your cursor, you will see it as in here. Otherwise, you can simply go here and change. But well, as you saw, it's very simple. What you need to understand is that day 0 and send immediately means that people will receive the message instantly once they subscribe. But in our case, they will not, because we didn't add this option. So what we will do now, as we now have the autoresponder, is to go to the landing pages. We will go here to the settings of our landing page, and we will now add to the autoresponder cycle. So we have this day 0, 1 message, and now I will want to save. All right, so now I will go back to the landing page and I will subscribe. So once again, you've seen how this works. All right, so now I'm signed up, and in a second, what you will see is that the autoresponder will be sent. So in a second, I will refresh that, and you will see that this will be 1 exactly. So now you see number 1 over here. So the message was sent immediately after we subscribed, which is very helpful. So people that, once again, people that sign up, they expect the welcome message, and this is a very simple way to do it. And well, it's automated, so you don't have to do anything else here. And as I mentioned, this is a great way for you to actually go to the grid and build a whole course for people in a Guitar Masters list. Some pro tips can be actually a good thing for you to start. And now we are reaching the end of this video, but something that I really want to mention is that you can always go here to check about notifications that we sent. You can submit your feature requests, and you can even upvote some of them, like I did over here. You can also suggest a feature and also see the roadmap that we are working on right now. And of course, you can also upvote the things that you want to see in the future. So this is a real way for you to have an impact on what GetResponse does. And another thing that you should consider is to download the mobile app. So you can go here to your profile, you can go to mobile apps, and you will be able to put your phone number over here, send, and you'll be able to download the mobile app. So this is very useful. It's a way for you to actually send newsletters if you're not at home, if you don't have your computer. You can send one from your phone, and you can actually then check the statistics and how everything is performing while you are on the go, so you don't have to be attached to your laptop. And now, having that said, you should now go ahead and start preparing your campaigns. And that's it, folks. Thank you for going through this video with me. I hope that now you have enough knowledge to start your marketing activities with GetResponse. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.